this is Michelle with Pink and Maine, and today I'm going to be making some cards with our April 2020 Crafty Courtyard kit. This kit has a beautiful floral and bee theme, and it's got some really nice spring colors. I think I'm in love with this paper pad. It might be one of my favorites that we have done. And let's get started with our first card. I've got all my pieces cut, so I have my A2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 white card base already cut and folded. And I have 2 layering rectangles that I've cut. And I've cut the green one just slightly smaller than the card base, so we'll go ahead and glue these pieces down. Now I've cut 2 strips of paper to fit on this grid sheet. I've got this pretty coral color and the stripe. And the stripe, I believe, is 1 1/4 wide. And the coral is 1 1/2 inch, just to give a little border on the side. Now I've cut a hexagon with one of the hexagon dies that's included in the kit, and then I stamped on it with the sentiments BU. So then on the inside you could write anything. This would be a great, like, thank you for being you, and thanks for all you do, or it could just be a fun greeting card, a note you send to a friend. I know right now with all this virus stuff we're going through, it's really nice to send some encouragement and some kindness to those people in our lives that need it the most right now. So we'll put that on there. And then I've stamped one of the floral pieces and I colored it in with some Copic markers. And these are really simple floral pieces to color in. You don't really have to add any shading to make it look nice. I did just a little bit here with the flower with a darker yellow and a lighter yellow, and it just came out really nice and really simple to color. So we'll glue that down, bordering the hexagon. And it really hugs that hexagon nicely. And I did fussy cut it out. So I stamped it and colored it, and then I just fussy cut it. And I think the last thing I want to add to this card is some of the enamel shapes that are in your kit. And I think I'll just take a couple and add them here and there. They just add a nice finishing touch. And as you'll notice with our kits, everything coordinates really nicely. We try to make it super simple for you to put things together that match and coordinate. And there you have a nice, sweet, and fairly simple note card to put together. For our next card, I'm going to make a bee themed card, and it's just going to be kind of like a blank note card, so I can use it for any occasion, any purpose that I need to. And sometimes it's really nice just to have those kind of cards in your stash that you can just grab and use for any kind of occasion that comes up. So I've got my white A2 card base folded and ready to go. I've cut out with our scalloped rectangle dies and our stitched rectangle dies. Set 1 is this one. It layers on the scallop really nicely. So I've cut that dark teal cardstock that's in the kit with the scallop rectangle. And then I've taken the teal sheet that has the little bees all over it, and I've cut that with the stitched rectangle, and we're going to layer those on our card. So we'll do that first. Next, I've cut this yellow beehive pattern from the pattern paper pad, and I will adhere that down. Okay, and then I've cut just a 1/4 inch strip from the yellow cardstock, and I'm going to make a bordered edge for this hexagon sheet. Next, I want to take gonna kind of place my bee there. And then I've I pulled out these little yellow hexagons from the chipboard stickers. And I'm just gonna add them in little clusters on the bottom right and the top left portion of the card. And I think I'm going to pop the bee up just so it has a little more dimension. There, so I have those down. I just thought they added some nice interest to the card. And I've got some foam squares. I'm just gonna add to the back of my bee. Okay, so now we're ready to add the bee. Let's see if I want him going this. Let's put him this way. And there I stamped him and I colored him in with some Copic markers, and then I just fussy cut him out. The images aren't too difficult to fussy cut, so I did that and just popped him up. I think it adds some great dimension. And now I have just a perfect note card that I can use for any occasion. I really like how that came out. Okay, I have the pieces for our next card, and I'm using some of the pattern papers and this really pretty teal that has the polka dots already embossed. So it adds some really nice texture. I'm going to use some ribbon, and I'm going to use another one of those bee stamps. We'll adhere this down the bottom of that piece, and then I want to add some ribbon going across. So I'm just going to adhere it to the back. So I just need a little adhesive wherever it's going to go on the back. So I can simply add that to the end of the ribbon. There, and I want it to be loose on the front because I'm going to add a knot here. So we can actually go ahead and do that. Now where I tie the knot, I usually like to stick just a little bit of adhesive, and that will hold your knot right in place. So I just cross it over, bring one under, and I kind of twist it as I bring it under so that the polka dots stay on the top. And then I don't do a double knot, I just do it once, tighten it up, and then just kind of smush it down a little bit with my finger, and it creates a nice flat knot so that adhesive will make it stay right there, but also it's nice and flat for mailing. And the next thing I will do is with my scissors, I'm just gonna trim off a little bit from the edge here on each side. And now we can adhere this panel down to that cardstock. I don't know about you, but we are pretty much stuck at home. I go into our store/office about once or twice a week with my mom so that we pull and pack orders to ship out. But I found that most of my crafting supplies are at my office, so I just had the basics here at home to work with this time, so I didn't get to do any fun embossing techniques or anything like that. We're just using the basics, but even with the basics, you can make some really nice cards. Okay, and I think again, I'm going to pop my bee up with some foam tape. And I kind of thought this bee was kind of like a play on words, or I was using the bee as like, and the words here on the paper. So be creative, be happy, be fearless, be unique. So I just thought I'd put the bee there with the words. Like so, and there we have our note card. Now I love the look of glitter, but I do not like working with loose glitter. Even with glue, it's just messy, 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 I think. So I love my stickles. So I did bring some of that home because I thought these bees, their wings would definitely look gorgeous with some added sparkle. So I'm going to add some stickles to the wings here. And I love the shine that that gives. And I'll tell you a little something. They come out with all different colors of stickles, or I know Nuvo has glitter drops, and they come out with all the colors. And I never buy the colors. I always buy like these, just the clear with the iridescent glitter in them, because, and I buy several at a time because I use it, you know, you can use it for everything because it's clear and the glitter is just iridescent. So you can put it over anything and the color will shine through. So I just always buy the clear ones and add it to my projects. And then I don't have to have a whole collection of all the different colors. And if you like to collect all the colors, by all means, I just try to find ways to use fewer items or have to store fewer items. And isn't that gorgeous? I love that bee with the glitter on the wings. Could also add a couple of sequins to this just to finish it off. I think that's what I'll do. And this is our sequin mix this time, and I love this. It's real pretty and soft and muted, but it has the teal, you've got the lime green and the peachy color and just some iridescent white, and I just thought they were real pretty. Okay, so I pulled out the little white iridescent, so we'll use those. All right, so there we go. There's our finished card. Ooh, and I just love the little sparkle and shine that adds to it. Okay, for our next card, I have cut out a teal piece with our stitched rectangles, set one. Now, set one will have The largest piece is an A2 size 4¼ by 5½ rectangle, so it will fit right on top of your card perfectly and cover that. And then I've cut out this yellow piece of cardstock with the scallop rectangle. Let me move all these little parts and pieces. And then I've cut out the ice rink sparkle sheet that you get in the kit. I cut it out to layer on the scallop rectangle. But before I cut it out, I took the stencil that's in the kit, and I didn't know if this would work, so I tried it out first, and it did work, and I think it came out beautiful. So with our ice rink sparkle sheets, which is, it looks white with iridescent glitter. It's really pretty. I don't know if the camera catches all the sparkle and shine, but I went ahead and I put the stencil over it, and I stenciled just a dye ink, a teal dye ink that I have. And I know most all of you have, you know, a dye ink pad sitting around. It's just a basic staple. And so I took our blender brush and I stenciled that dye ink on here, and it worked. It colored the glitter paper. So now I have this really pretty patterned glitter paper. I thought it came out awesome. I was really happy with that. I just had the idea and I thought, oh, I don't know if that's gonna work. And it did. And I love when things work out that way, don't you? So I'm gonna start to adhere some of these pieces down to the card base. Now before I adhere the sparkle sheet piece down to the card, I want to plan out the rest of my card here because I have some ribbon that I want to add. Now I took the hexagon dies and I taped 2 of them together. It's the largest one and then the next largest. I just taped the dies together, so I run them through the die cut machine at the same time, and that creates a frame. So you can tape 2 of them together and create like a nice hexagon frame. And you could use this frame to make a shaker card. You could raise it up and put your acetate and put something under it and make it a shaker card. I don't have all the supplies at home to do that, so we're going to just use it as a frame for our bee cardstock, or chipboard sticker, rather. And then I've taken the bee and the happy sentiment and just made it be happy. And I've stamped that out on white and then cut this little banner portion at the end there and then layered it with the teal cardstock. So I just want to decide how this is going to go on the card so I know where to put my ribbon. So we'll go ahead and adhere the ribbon. Okay, got the ribbon on there like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and tie my knot. So once again, I'll add a little adhesive dot where I want the knot to stay. Pull it kind of tight, and then I just press down the knot there so it gets a little bit flat, and I'm going to trim off the excess ribbon. Next, I'm going to adhere this panel down to our card. Okay, now we've got our card front going here. I'm going to glue my hexagon frame down. And I always say whenever you're adhering something to like a glitter paper, like our sparkle sheets, you probably want to use a liquid glue if you have it. If not, just use a really strong adhesive because of the glitter on the paper, it's a little textured, so some of the tape runners might not hold up quite as well. I'm going to take our chipboard sticker, and I know it's a sticker, but we're putting it on the glitter paper, and I usually add a little bit of liquid glue to the back of these anyway, just so they hold up, you know, if they go through the mail or whatever. You want the recipient to get the card and still have everything as you want it to be on the card. We have that. I'm going to glue the sentiment piece onto its backing. And I think I'm gonna put some foam adhesive on the back of this so it stands up a little bit. And there we have another adorable note card. And this one's got a little bit of sparkle on it. All right, I've got the pieces for our next card here. So our layering pieces, I've got this really pretty coral cardstock I cut with the scalloped rectangles. And then I die cut the white cardstock that I had stamped the floral piece in the corner and colored it in to match the coral cardstock. So we're gonna adhere those together. So there's our card base. So I had taken 2 of the hexagon dies and I cut a piece of the pattern paper with these teal with the lime polka dots. And then I stamped Be Strong and on a white cardstock and cut it out of a smaller hexagon. So I'm going to glue these 2 together. Yeah, I think it adds interest sometimes when it just goes off the side of the card. So don't get on to me. I'm just going to eyeball it. I should get the paper trimmer out and cut it, but this should be okay. So I'm going to glue this down on the card. Yeah, perfect. I like how that looks. It just adds interest to the eye when you have things that kind of go off the side of your card and they're not all perfectly within the confines of the rectangular card. And then I stamped 2 of the smaller bees that are in the stamp set. And I think I'll add some foam adhesive to those and pop them up. So I'll just pop the 2 bees on there, one going this way, one going that way. And I think last addition to this card is I'm going to add a little bit more of my Stickles glitter to their wings. And if you've got any of the clear sparkle pens, the Wink of Stella or Spectrum Noir makes one, as well as in Nouveau by Tonic, I believe. There's several out there, but anything with a little glitter or sparkle on the wings would look really nice. And there we have another card. So for our last card, I always like to use the postcard somehow. I don't want it to go to waste. So this is just super simple because this postcard just makes the perfect card front. So I've just layered it. I trimmed it a little bit to fit on the card, and I've layered it with some yellow cardstock. So I'll just adhere these to the card. Okay, so there's that note card. That is just, I mean, how super simple is that? Like, you can't get any simpler or easier, but yet makes a really cute card. And I'm going to add a couple of our enamel shapes, I think. So I've added some of those. And I think the last thing I want to do is, hey, when all else fails, add glitter, right? Oh, but not the loose stuff. Is it just me, or does anyone else not like using loose glitter? It just seems to get everywhere. And I go around for days with it on my face or in my hair, on my clothes. But this is just so easy and pretty much mess-free. You just have to wait a few minutes for it to dry. Stickles, depending on how thick you put it on, it doesn't take too long to dry. I'll make these wings sparkly. And that's our last card. I definitely felt like going on and on. I could have made a gazillion cards with this kit. I've got practically a whole entire paper pad still left. Just add more cardstock and I could keep going. I hope you enjoy creating with this kit. I do believe we still have some left at this point as I'm filming. Not very many, but we do have a few left. And until next time, keep living the creative life. And please be safe, stay healthy, and stay crafty, my friends.